Good afternoon, Gooners. It's in the North Bank, another match day preview show. And what a game! What a game. The disappointment of Thursday quickly disappears, goes into another game. And the magnitude of this game itself is huge for the season. We've worked so hard to get where we are, and it's come down to one game to seal it for the final game of the season. So there's two wins from the last two games, and there's no room for error now, and it has to be this game or we say goodbye. We say goodbye to Champions League for this season, and we go on. It's out of our hands then, and we just have to look forward to the last game of the season, lighting up the Emirates, and going. It's going to be real hard tonight. No doubts about it. And yeah, something that could have been really in our hands a few weeks ago. You do go back to the last three-game period where we kind of dropped points. Obviously, the three defeats: Palace, Brighton, and Southampton. And they, when you look at it now, that 3 points against Brighton, which could easily have happened because we did dominate the game. We didn't get that, and we'd have been out of touch. But that's football, and we move on. We come back and we got points where we didn't expect them. And yeah, Thursday was a real disappointing day. Not going to dwindle on that anymore. But yeah, good to have you all on, guys, and yeah, good to see. I know G's in the house. Evening. I hope to see you on Sunday at the Emirates. So I think you're travelling up, so it should be good to see everyone for the final time until the summer. But yeah, where do we go? Where do we start with? Um, there is huge pressure, and I look at the young side. I look at how they'll be able to deal with real pressure in a real pressurized environment. And this is what sorts out the rubbish and the good. So the quality players will deal with that pressure, and then the others that are struggling will be shown up, and they can't handle the pressure. Yeah, not every youngster, but again, that's kind of what happens. We want them to be flourishing. We want them to be really kind of expressing themselves. We don't want them to start sinking and literally go hiding. And it's a good barometer to kind of see. And it's going to be an absolute cauldron. I think at St James's Park. I think last game of the season, the Geordies going to get right behind their team, and the players will want to give them something back as well. So it is up to how we do handle the occasion. It's another big occasion, and we've got to turn up. We've got to do it. So at the end of the day, it's all about the performance on the day, and yeah, we've got to get the result and say that there's no messing around now. If we don't get the result, then it is goodbye to top four. But let's be honest, no one expected us to get top four, even at the start of the season. You look even at like the BBC, over 27 different correspondents had predicted the table. None had Arsenal in them. So, testament to what we've done this season. It is disappointing how we've kind of let slip an advantage we had, but again, every game has to be played, and yeah, games in hand mean nothing. You have to get the points on the board. So yeah, it is going to be tough, but hey, G's in fine positive spirit here. I'm liking that. If it is 3-0, I'd be a lot happier. But yeah, got to have some real big games from a lot of players. But yeah, Odegaard, yeah, you've got to look at it, and you've also got to look at the others in there. Xhaka's going to have another big game. He's going to need to have a big game. There's going to have to be some real cool heads in there, and he has surprised a lot of people. He has been cool. He has been collected, and a lot better than he has been. But it isn't just those. It's the others. It's the attackers now as well. We have to make sure we get the job done. If we get chances, we've got to take the chances. There's no room for error, and there's no point having 20 shots on target if we're only getting 2 or 3 on target. So yeah, we have to really be real active with regards to our shots on target and getting the ball in there into dangerous areas and finishing them. And it is a massive game for Nketiah. And I look at it and I think if he goes in there and he scores the goal, scores the winner, or whatever, he has as another great performance. And you're suddenly saying, I don't think there is any way we could not go and sign him up, be it for another season or not. But it's got to be done, and that's it. So we have to make sure we get as many shots on goal, and let's get the result because yeah, I don't fancy our chances. Certainly, if we become under the cosh, because again, I don't know what the situation is with our defenders at the minute. How fit Ben White is. Obviously, didn't come on Thursday. Didn't want to risk him. Is that just a thing that he is really short, or he kind of had it in his head to basically not really risk him if the game's kind of done? And yeah, down to 10 men and 2-0 up, we will basically be just maybe say affecting him and putting him into something where he's not ready. So I've heard rumours that he's looking at maybe going for Tomiyasu and Xhaka at the back. If those two, the normal two, aren't aren't available, Gabriel obviously picked up a knot, and so yeah, it's one of those. It's really awkward. So yeah, I'd be very worried about that. And I know Tommy is probably a real good player because he has played for Bologna at the right centre back position, so he's accustomed to it. We finished the game on Thursday with those two, but to have a baying crowd going after them as well as a Newcastle looking to get the actual performance on, I'd be worried for a whole game. But Gabriel and then Ben White have to come back in, I think, because we do need Xhaka in midfield. We need the solidarity in there, and it's it's one of those where we do need to get it sorted, and then we need to get all our experienced players playing in those positions, and certainly get a hold of Guimaraes as well because he has been running some games and he's been playing fantastic. So yeah, it's a shame. We'd like to have had him. It'd have been an interesting player to have bought in, but they've obviously got him. And but we need to start the game real early and dictate the pace. And yeah, as G has said, we do need to silence the crowd. And yeah, the tempo, everything, how we start the game. And to be honest, we done that on Thursday. We played really well. We really got stuck in. And we really, really pushed them. And we were recovering the ball in advanced areas. And we were making them make mistakes. And it was just only then we got that soft penalty. And then the games rolled away from us just solely in the space of a few minutes. In all honesty, I think it was 8 minutes or 8 or 9 minutes after the penalty or something. I think we were then down to 10 men. So yeah, 1-0 down with 10 men. It's no good, and yeah, it's just it's horrible. And then it ended up being obviously the 2-0, and yeah. frustration that was, and yeah, it was a very nervy day then, and I think nerves have surpassed Thursday for quite a few fans now. Um, yeah, it's proper squeaky bum time. But as I say, we shouldn't be too despondent. We shouldn't be too nervous about it because we know it's about progression, and we have progressed. A few fans still in the base still say there has been no progression, but we're going back into Europe, and we build again. Look, we've got 16 players or 15 players that we're probably going to be keeping in the first team, looking for the summer to really push on. Um, and it is a massive change. And we look at our striking options, and we see what we've got, and we're left with now Nketiah. Um, yeah, he hasn't been given the chance because he's always had someone in front of him, an Aubameyang, a Lacazette. Before that, others around. They've all gone, and it's another roadblock that we've had to deal with, or Arteta's had to deal with. And I'm sure he'd prefer to have an on-form Aubameyang playing in the ranks, but when someone's either down tools or just doesn't want to play the philosophy or the way of playing, then you've either got to just cut it, or you just take it, and again it's just stupid. So yeah, it's a massive rebuild in striking options, it's going to be our biggest transfer window of recent time, no question. But tonight, so yeah, a lot of people are saying about Newcastle are going to be on holiday. They're safe. They're not going to really be up for it. There's no such thing in this division as an easy game. Every team wants to win every game, and yeah, I can't see a final game of the season at home being treated any differently as to something that is that where they're fighting for anything. There's no difference there. But yeah, it is going to be real tough to go on. But the ref today is an interesting one. Darren England, and he's only been refereeing in the Premier League for this and last season, and it's the first Arsenal game he's refereed. 26 matches he's refereed, and he's had 95 cautions. So yeah, the overall is about just over 3.5 yellow cards a game. This season, it's just over 4 yellow cards a game, and yeah, that makes me think that he may be a little card happy. If this game is going to be played at high octane levels, is he going to be strong enough and not too crazy? He's only had one red card in those games, and yeah, you just hope that it's one of those where he does keep control and he doesn't lose it, because there's obviously again another game which has got lots riding on it, and we need to make sure that we take any responsibility away from the officials or VAR and just get the job done. You know what I mean? Just get the job done, and just lose any of the crap that is associated with the officials and how we've been treated previously, and on all these decisions. Just work on what we do best. Get going and get the goals, and the result will take care of itself. If we do our job properly, then that's all that matters. Um, yeah, I think that, well, the team writes itself if those defenders are fit. I don't think there'd be too many changes from the Tottenham game. I think it will be the same team. I don't think he's going to go 3 at the back. I think he'll still probably stay with the 2, and then the two two wide players. So yeah, four at the back, and yeah, my only concern is Saka. I don't know what you think, but yeah, he's been a little flat, and he does look like he's carrying some knock or some injury because he doesn't look free flowing. He doesn't look really happy in himself. Um, Whether or not it's just that he is kind of burnt a little bit, and or he is really struggling with an impact injury or something like that because he has taken numerous whacks, and yeah, that's part of playing football, but again, not protected enough. You only have to look at those fouls. And I was looking at this again, and I was looking at the VAR, and I raised about the VAR, and I want to bring this up as a massive discussion in football fans in general. And it's not just Arsenal; it's numerous clubs. They've all been done by the system, some more than others, but at some stage, teams have been affected by a real dodgy decision through VAR or not through VAR. And I just want to get fans' opinions and get fans actually talking about how we could actually get the system better. And it's just really frustrating to see it. But yeah, if we've got a voice and we know we've got a voice, we all get together and we can put pressure on the association for the referees and then the Premier League. And who knows? We might get a voice as fans. I'm not saying that all our opinions will suddenly go in, but hang on a minute. If we're giving opinion to the referees and how they do things, then fair enough. Let let those bits go, and we can try and push push our way into those areas where we can start giving an open forum. I want referees to come out and I want them to explain themselves and why they've made decisions, not hide behind the bureaucracy of like Riley and all behind there, and no one comes out and says anything. I want them to explain decisions. And there was a really good one where I think it was probably one of the only decent things like Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher have done, where they went to actually go into Stockley Park and see VAR working, and then they started talking with the referee, and he was obviously giving himself feedback about watching the game back. And yeah, I've made an error. I've done this. I should have given a penalty. Blah blah blah. Didn't. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's the case, brilliant. Okay, that's honesty, and that's criticism that you would normally just take on, but it's constructive. Yeah, you're not going to give an abuse to them, but again, if they recognise an error and a misjudgment or something, then all for it. But fans have got to have a voice, and they've got to be able to explain and put their points through to the powers that be. What's frustrating for a fan? Live, watching on telly. What's frustrating for my club, for other clubs? What trend? What are we seeing? And all these little things where we see it, but the people that run the system are not really seeing it. They're coming out with things that the law is governing by, and it's all over the shop from referee to referee. A handball is a handball one time, and then it isn't. Same with a tackle, and yeah, just really weird. Just all we just need is transparency, consistency, and a lot more better communication. But yeah, I'm positive about tonight. But yeah, I'm gonna probably leave it now. We're looking at 2.5 hours before kickoff. I'm getting nervous. I'm getting frustrated, just just in general. Um, Certainly with some of the opinions, and every fan has a right to voice opinions, but those opinions have got to have context and have got to have some proper sense thrown into it. And yeah, some people do need to have a little bit of realism in things, and we've achieved a lot. We've done a lot this year. Could be better, but as I say, we've still ripped out a large part of our squad, and now going into next season, we'll be in a much better position because we should be able to sign another 3, 4, 5 players to bring on into the squad, which will then help numbers going into Europe, as well as the other academy players that are coming in. And yeah, if there's a couple of marquee signings that we do get in, does that help the youngsters that are currently in our squad now and allows them to develop without the mass pressure? And that's what I talk about. We spoke about it early in the season where we're putting too much pressure on, say, a Saka, a Smith Rowe, and to a certain degree, Martinelli was like, as soon as he was injured and when he was like ready to come back, it was like, oh, we need to get him in, we need to play him, and take your time, relax, and yeah, it was one of those where you have to take your time. He's been injured for a long time, and we can't burn him out or bring him back too early. And yeah, now he's doing some nice things, but we just don't want to be really reliant on these guys too much because yeah, you're seeing it with Saka, and he has taken some huge tackles. That Palace game, as I said, I was watching it back, and to see those tackles coming from MacArthur in that game. Now, I remember watching it live and saying it was like, how many lives has this guy got? And then when you actually see it, 4 minutes afterwards, he goes and kicks Saka up in the air, and then we don't get the penalty as well. And again, that's another game where, yeah, points make big things, and if they go down to 10 men, it's a different game, isn't it? So it's a massive evener where a player gets sent off. We know it because it happens to us. There seems to be no leeway with us, and we seem to always get a red card even earlier in, say, the first half, and we're suddenly thinking, well, this is crazy. But other teams just seem to get many lives, and yeah, we just get the brunt of it all the time, it seems. But yeah, I'm positive. I'm gonna go 2-1 to Arsenal today. But as I say, I think we do need to start quick, and we certainly need to make sure that they're looked after because yeah, they've got some guys returning. I think Wilson's coming back today. I heard. So you then back Trippier as well. Trippier's another one. He's got a massive grudge on him because yeah, obviously he wants to be loved again with Spurs. Yeah, he wants to put one up on us because yeah, he's a Tottenham reject and he's now at Newcastle. But no, I'm hoping that we start early. It's going to be nervy at times. We're going to have to ride some part of a storm. But 2-1, and it'll be job done. We go on to next Sunday and the final game against Everton. But yeah, just going to go into the live chat again. Albrecht, good evening, all. How's it going? Good to see you, mate. What are your thoughts on the game? Come and let us know. Get involved. Who's gonna be your starting lineup? Yeah, so you've gone 2-1 as well. Yeah, yeah, we've got a good attacking side. But yeah, it's our knack of being able to score goals. And I go back to the game against Brighton, and we look at that period where yeah, We lost 3 games. The away games, yeah, you can say, yeah, they would be the hardest game. Certainly Palace. Southampton is never easy, but that home game against Brighton, we had 20 shots on goal, only 4 on target, that just sums it up. Where we haven't been playing with a prolific striker, but if we're creating those amount of chances, then we've got to start taking some of them. And it's all right if you've got a striker there that when the ball comes in, he's going to always get you the goals. But when we haven't got them, then yeah, we've got to be, yeah, we do have to be more ruthless. It's that's it now. That's where we've now got to aim for next season, is to be a lot more ruthless in attack, and taking our chances when they come. And a big forward, a complete forward that will basically deal with anything, crosses or passes coming in and running in behind, he can deal with and get sorted. So yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, sunny here in Essex. Yeah, it's been a nice day. A little bit rainy, but it's yeah, it's nice. I'm looking forward to summer. It's not far away, but lots of storms coming in the last day or so. Yeah, again, lots to talk about Tavares. Again, it's one of those where if you're taking, say, Tommy and playing him on the left, then you're removing something from the right. And I don't think Suarez has done too bad on the right, but I do think Suarez must play on the right rather than, I don't know. It's hard. It is hard. Whichever way you look at it, you think I'd rather Suarez there than, say, Tommy, because I'm a little bit dubious on Tavares tracking back. And yeah, when you've got Smith Rowe, yeah, he will track back, and he will be a little bit more of a work rate. But I don't know whether or not Tommy may be more suited to the left with Suarez on the right. I don't know. I'm still dubious about that, but my guess is that he's going to rest Saka, or have not so much rest him, but I think just give him a little respite. And with the quality that we've got, and we've obviously got Smith Rowe that needs to come in, he needs to play. It may be good for him with his direct running style and being able to get in and around. And then with Odegaard there, it could open things up. I even got maybe a thing for Pepe. And I was suddenly thinking about Pepe, and if we can suddenly get him running, and somehow he comes up with some confidence. I don't know. I'm just that game last weekend, and it was just against Leeds, and you're suddenly thinking that run on goal when he was the keeper's out, and you're just thinking just run with the ball. Even if it's the case you've just taken it a couple of strides further forward, and then go and hit the target, play the ball into the goal. And he just stopped, and it's like he's just devout of all confidence. So does that mean we've seen the last of him as an Arsenal player? I think he has lost all his confidence playing. So with that said, do you then suddenly think, well, Saka's got to play? And you look at it and you think, I don't know. It's really hard. Um, yeah, my main concern is that midfield and players to get in and around uh, their midfield. Certainly Willock. I'm a little bit worried about Willock as well, because we know he's a decent player, and he's got a good engine, and he will run around, and he'll run forward, and he is direct as well. When you chuck in Guimaraes as well with him, makes it even more troublesome. And this is where you do need to have your senior bodies in that middle to be able to deal with it. And El Nenny's going to play a decent role. Uh, yeah, there's no way he's not going to be playing. He's played really well, and yeah, Xhaka just in front to to get it to get it going further forward, and his range of passing should be a lot better going forward. But I think El Neni will be that man just to kind of mop up and do what he needs to do. Oh, sorry, just gone over that one. Yeah, as I say, I think I think it's good. I think they can do either. But yeah, Tommy, I think is a bit more versatile with things, and he has that presence about him as well. And yeah, it's how you deal with those players. You got their little wingers as well, which is gonna make it tricky. So I'd probably play Tommy on the left, and I'd have Cedric on the right. Yeah, yeah. Again, it's all about trust, and this is what Mikel Arteta was saying, wasn't he? And he was talking about, I feel really sorry for Nketiah because I didn't trust him. I didn't give him the trust. And if you don't trust the player, the odds are that you're not going to really play him. You see it with England, where Southgate's kind of playing players that he trusts rather than players on form. So I would say Pepe, he's probably had his last chance now, and you couldn't stick him in the trench with you, could you? You wouldn't be able to trust him. So it's one of those where so yeah, I would basically say he's done, and yeah, I'd even say Martinelli and Smith Rowe on those flanks, and then you basically just say Saka just coming off the bench as a little boost or a little push, and then we go from there. But yeah, it's interesting to see what he does. But yeah, I think you're right there. Yeah, I think that's every fan in the world will be worrying about what is going to happen with Gabriel and White. Yeah, they've travelled, but again, what state they're in, and yeah, the last thing we want, in all honesty, is for them to be pushed in and done, and then all of a sudden Gabriel goes down inside 15, 20 minutes with a similar kind of complaint. He obviously felt something muscular, and I'm not sure it was his hamstring. It was almost real right in his butt, and it seemed real quite high. And it was, I don't know whether or not he's just felt something or a twinge, but yeah, I'm hoping it isn't anything too mad. And yeah, White, I can't remember what White had, whether or not he had a slight hamstring complaint himself. But yeah, the last thing we want to do is go into that Everton game knowing that, yeah, well, obviously we need to win anyway. But in that away game where Everton are going to be flying at us and they're going to want to do it, it's working our favour because teams that will come out and come for us will play into our hands a bit better rather than having a low block and making it hard for us. But I'd rather go in with an actual defence that we could rely on. Yeah, yeah. Again, you look at this. You look at how Pepe has been, and there's no doubt he's got talent. But again, there's a difference between being a skillful player and a really good technical player. And yeah, he's got all the skills, and he'll do a little flicker and do a step over one on one, but the ball stops, and he doesn't know what to do. And you look at, say, like a Cazorla, who would just always play with both feet and move the ball around, and he was a really good technical player. And that's the difference. A really good technical player knows when to do those skills and do the skills at the right time. Whereas a skillful player, yeah, well, I could do a skill, but doesn't know when to do it in a game regularly. And I just feel he just hasn't got that kind of part in his game. And it was kind of a similar thing to what people were saying about Walcott. There's no kind of end product, no real football brain or understanding of the game. I just wished he would just be more direct. He's got the pace to burn. He's got an absolute huge amount of pace, and he just doesn't use it. Whether or not it's just because he's just one-footed, and I don't know. Yeah, attitude is a big thing, and if you're not committed to your work, then you will struggle. That's in modern day, everyday life. You're going to struggle if you don't have the right attitude, and yeah, treat it as a job. Yeah, then it's a lot better. But yeah, you're not playing with your mates, and you have to do it. But yeah, his game is based on the confidence, and you can see at times he does have it, but that's easily knocked. So there's no point being a footballer, or there's no room for being a footballer at a club like Arsenal when you're up and down like it. And that's probably the difference between France and the Premier League, where you've suddenly got, you can drift in and out, and that's it. But you do that in the Premier League, and you will find yourself out of the team because yeah, you don't rediscover your confidence, then you're not going to be given that berth to play. And yeah, that's that. But yeah, he's had numerous chances, and you think for the money that was spent, and it's not his fault. Yeah, that was a decision that was made by Arsenal at the time, and yeah, it's not his fault. And it's disappointing that he hasn't hit the ground running. But it could easily have been another player. We could have gone and signed Isaac in January because we really, really need a striker, and everyone's crying out for a striker. But we might be looking at it and suddenly saying, well, he's only scored one goal, and it's like we've paid £70 million for this striker. He's only scored one goal. He's only scored 5 or 6, I think, on my last check in Spain. And you're suddenly thinking, you want us to pay that much for that striker, and he hasn't really scored, and it's a big gamble. So yeah, every understanding why they didn't do it. So they didn't sign a striker because I don't think you need to be forced into something, and certainly pay over the odds. But yeah, I like that. When did we sign whoever can play? Sounds a really good central defender there. But yeah, anyone. Maybe just patch both of them up together, play 'em. Who do you reckon? Who will go on whose shoulder? So Ramsdale, Cedric, Tomiyasu, Tavares. Yeah, I think it'll be Ben White. It may save Gabriel, or Gabriel's all right, and he'll save Ben White. And yeah, the rest does. Yeah, it picks itself, doesn't it? Yeah, at the end of the day, it's one of those. It's what it is. We've got 2 more games, and this is when we're talking about cup finals, and we've got 5, 6 cup finals. This is the ultimate cup final. There's no further way forward now. If we lose this, then it's end game. It's game over. If we win, then that is game on for Sunday, and a buzzing atmosphere at the Emirates. Mertesacker. Oh, yeah, he's probably still got his boots somewhere. So yeah, I'm sure he can. I'm sure he could just stand there. And he was one of those players that he never had the pace, but he was one that had the understanding of the game. And it was similar to a bit like Tony Adams in a way, where he knew where to be. He didn't need to move and be really versatile and mobile. But when he stepped into the ball, he'd go and win the ball. And yeah, just had that knack of just being there and just knowing where to be at that time and winning the ball. But yeah, he was a decent defender. I'd love to have been able to clone him. Just clone Mertesacker and a Tony Adams together and see what you come up with. Yeah, it would have been nice. I love it. Nice. Another Hale End graduate. But yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, the rumours are that it's good for Hickey. He does look good. He's another Scotchman. You'd like to think that Tierney's had a little word in his ear about coming over, and it would be a long time since Arsenal have had a Scottish player playing for him. Obviously, not since Paul Dickov. Um, and yeah, how nice! How nice would it be to actually see some more like UK-based kind of players? I'm talking the Irish players, the old school, how it used to be, where you'd have a nice following. You've got your normal Irish Arsenal Gooner followers, and then to back that up, you've then got some Irish players coming through. Not happened recently for a for a long time, but for a couple of Scottish players to be in and around Arsenal, it's certainly a start. And yeah, it'll be another good addition, and that's all we're asking for. We're asking for competition in places and a bit of versatility, play on the left or the right, and whichever way there's cover. So yeah, we'll be really good. But yeah, there's no point paying overpriced for a player, and yeah, we've got a lot of time. We've got a lot of time to be able to identify who we need to get. So that's what we need to do. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up there, guys. And thanks for watching. Thanks to Albrecht and to G for the comments on the chat. Let's hope Arsenal do really well, get the result that we need, and yeah, we go on to Sunday knowing just a win is needed to take us to Champions League. Well, thanks again, guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It really mean a lot. And yeah, up the Arsenal. See you later.